Hello learners, and welcome to today's lesson about integers. So to start off our lesson, we are going to start with an interesting fact. So did you know that for water to freeze to ice, it must be at a temperature of 0 degrees Celsius? Yet, there are places like some parts of Cape Town where the temperature drops to below 0. Yes, below 0 degrees Celsius. So that means that the temperature is lower than the freezing point of water. Isn't that amazing? Okay, so let's start off with our lesson. Our lesson objectives for this lesson is that by the end of this lesson, you must be able to perform calculations with integers involving addition and subtraction, use commutative and associative properties of addition for integers, and solve problems in contexts using multiple operations with integers. So today's lesson is going to focus on calculations with integers, that's addition and subtraction of integers without using a calculator. Then properties of integers, that is the additive inverse for integers, also commutative and associative properties for integers. And lastly, solving problems. So we are going to be solving problems in contexts involving multiple operations with integers. So you must know the following for you to follow through today's lesson. Perform calculations with whole numbers using multiple operations with or without brackets, and then identify integers on a number line. Let's start with a few pre-knowledge practice questions. So calculations using multiple operations with or without brackets. So do you remember how to do these calculations? Remember, when we are dealing with these calculations, we are working on either sides of the positive or the negative, or should we say the subtraction or the addition. So let's start with this one. When we are working here, we are going to say this is 3 minus, now remember that 7 times 4 divided by 14 is one term. So we need to work that out first. 7 times 4 is 28. When we divide that by 14 and we add the 5. So 28 divided by 14 gives us 2. Then we say 3 minus 2, which is 1, and we add the 5. Our answer is going to be 6. I hope you remember how to do that. So we are going to deal with that later on in the lesson. So let's start off with a number line so that we can see those integers. Remember, today's lesson is based on integers, so we want to identify those integers on a number line. We have 0 in the middle, and 0 is in the middle, it is neutral. Then we have numbers on the right-hand side and the numbers on the left-hand side. The ones on the right-hand side are the positive numbers, and the numbers on the left-hand side are the negative numbers. When we are moving to the right-hand side, the numbers are becoming bigger. So from 1, we have 2, we have 3, we have 4, and we move like that. The numbers are becoming bigger. But when we look on the left-hand side of the neutral or of the 0, then the numbers are becoming smaller. Yes, that means that -1, -2, -3, we are becoming smaller. So what does that mean? That means 5. So let's identify 5. There it is on our number line. It means 5 is bigger than 1. Why? Because on the right-hand side, numbers are bigger. And when you are moving towards the left-hand side, numbers are becoming smaller. So that means that 5 is bigger than 1. That also means that when we are looking at -3, so where's -3? There it is. Now -3 is smaller than 1. So 1 is on the right-hand side. Because it's on the right-hand side, that means that it is bigger. And when we go on to the left-hand side, that number is smaller. Okay? So let's move on. Addition of integers. So for addition of integers, let's go back to the number line again. When we are adding, remember we said we move to the right. So let's look at these two numbers. If I am going to say 1 plus 4, so here is 1, and when we are adding 4, we are going to move to the right because addition is to the right. So from 1, I am going to move 4 spaces to the right. So that is 1, 2, 3, and 4 spaces to the right. What is my answer? My answer is going to be 5. So 1 plus 4, we move to the right, our answer is 5. And remember what I said about subtraction of integers. When we subtract integers, we move to the left on the number line. So here's the number line. So if we have 1 minus 4, let's see what our answer will be. So we are at a positive 1. So from a positive 1, we are subtracting a positive 4. But because we are subtracting, we are going to move to the left. This means we are moving 4 units to the left. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Where does our answer land us? That is at negative 3. Okay, so that was the pre-knowledge for this lesson. Let's look at some words that we are going to be using in this lesson. So we are going to be talking about integers. Remember, integers with the symbol Z, they are whole numbers and negative whole numbers. So for example, we have our negative 1, our 0, 1, 2, and moving forward. Remember, there are also numbers before the negative 1. So those numbers also continue to the left, becoming smaller and smaller. Then we have the additive inverse. Additive inverse is the number that you add to another number to get 0. So, for example, the additive inverse of a positive 3 will be a negative 3. And the reason for this is because a positive 3 plus a negative 3 is equals to 0. Okay, so let's go to the ad break and then we'll see you just now.